it is a big occasion down on the pitch, but it's also, as far as the fans are concerned, about having a good time.
Go on, England! 2-1! All the way from Hong Kong. Hey! Scotland! We're the famous Scotland Army and we're going to Wembley! Wembley! Wembley!
3-0 to the Scots.
We're the famous Scotland Army and we're going to Wembley!
Brazil! Brazil! The champion of the world!
Wembley! We're the famous Scotland Army and we're going to Wembley! Wembley!
Oh no!
England!
England!
No beer, just cola. Scotland 2, England 1.
We shall see. In many ways, the fans are the most important people here today, but there are VIPs here too, of course, and Gary Richardson's been meeting some of them.
Sir Stanley Matthews, welcome. A glorious day. What are your thoughts on this afternoon's match?
Well, it's beautiful. It's going to be a very exciting game, I feel. And with a bit of luck, England should win. But who knows? Once you get on the field, anything can happen.
But not by the margin that you once won. 7-2, I think it was, some years ago.
Yeah, Gary, it was, I think, 1955, we beat them 7-2. But also, the highlight to me was just before the war, in 1938-39, when every time we went to play at Glasgow, England always lost. But this particular game, we beat them 2-1, and the great Tommy Lawton scored the last minute.
What do you think today's match actually hinges on?
Well, it hinges on, once you get on the field, anything can happen. If the ball runs for you, you've got a chance. If it's not running for you, you haven't a chance.
You'd like to be out there crossing them today for Sheringham and the likes, Shearer?
I'd like to. It'd be wonderful. Thank you.
Jim Farry, Chief Executive of the Scottish FA, welcome to Wembley. A big day for Scottish football.
Yeah, it's a big day for Euro 96. Obviously, it's captured the imagination of many people, and of course, many people from Scotland also.
And so far, so good. The fans all behaving themselves. Has that been a worry for you?
I don't think it's been a worry. We've got a very good reputation around Europe for a number of years now, and actually our fans are defending a trophy. They won the Fair Play Trophy from UEFA in Sweden in '92. So unlike the team, our fans are defending a trophy. We hope the team does well today as well.
So there's been no sort of concern in this build-up this week to coming to Wembley that the fans might misbehave in any way?
No, I think Scottish fans have proven over a long number of years now they have an excellent record for behaviour and they're excellent footballing ambassadors, and we hope to build upon that image further today.
And who do you reckon might win? England?
Well, obviously you're entitled to a view in that, but since you're asking me the question, you'll understand if I say Scotland.
Jimmy Armfield, nice to see you at Wembley. You have very happy memories of England against Scotland, in particular a 9-3 victory.
Yes, it seems a long time ago now, but it really was a one-off day. But at the time we were playing really well, and it was just one of those days when everything went right. Well, certainly not too much went right for the Scots in the second half, but they've had the good days as well, the Scots. I played here once when the Scots beat us. It was always pretty tight, and that's why the 9-3 really was a one-off.
What's your hunch on what will happen today, Jim?
I think it's going to be very tight, I really do, because I've seen quite a bit of the Scots. I know Craig quite well, and he's got a good system there, and they're working very well. I really think it'll be very tight. I really do. I think you could edge it either way, really. And it's not like any other match in this competition, not at all.
One side's got to win. Who's it going to be?
Well, I'm hoping it's going to be England.
Jimmy, nice to see you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now, earlier we had the views of Terry Venables and Craig Brown, but what about the coaches of the teams they've played or will have to play, Switzerland and Holland?
This game in the qualifications round is the most important game for Scotland and maybe for England. So it's like Holland-Germany. There's something special in this game, and I'm looking forward to see the game on Saturday afternoon.
It's a very important match to Scotland and to England, and I think it's a football game. I think this is very important, and I hope that all the players can give the maximum. I think it's a normal play, but I hope we can see a very good game.
Scotland was considered as more or less as an outsider, but there are no that many outsiders or big outsiders in. They proved it against us. And England playing at home, yeah, need to reach the quarter-final, the semi-final, and maybe finals. That's why it's very important for England. Yeah.
What would a good result be?
I don't know. It's very difficult. It's very good, but you know both teams cannot lose. You know, so I don't know. Perhaps I don't know. It's very difficult nowadays. To us, it's very important to make the maximum against Scotland. Perhaps Scotland is going to do the same against us, but I don't know. I think it's very difficult to England. I think it's very difficult to Scotland, but I hope that everybody can see a very good match of football.
What would a good result be for you?
Let there be a win.
One way or the other.
One way or the other.
The three wise men have arrived, and Alan, first and foremost, Scotland probably shot their bolt against Holland, haven't they?
Very funny, Des. Very funny indeed. I think this is the final for Scotland. Really do. I don't think, if you're being realistic, Scotland can win the competition, but it would be massive compensation if they could win here today. The pitch is perfect. Scotland got a great result against the Dutch. Everything's set for a classic confrontation. I just hope Scotland play as though, you know, it is the final, and they go out and give their supporters something to shout about, because that's what it's all about as far as Scottish supporters are concerned.
What's your reading of it, Jim?
Well, the June weather, to which we're not used in this country in quite such large quantities, is going to have an effect on the game today. I think the team with the spirit and the fitness out there under those conditions is going to come through, and that's why I think it could almost as easily be Scotland as it could England. Scotland have no emotional problems within the group, it seems. You know, they're happy. Even the Dutch players gone running home from there. Where England have had their problems, you know, not only with the press, but I mean with themselves. And whether that has affected their approach to the game for the good, I mean, this is the key thing. Have they got together as a group and said, right, they've slated us, lads, let's go out and show them? Or is it going to leave doubts in their mind whether they really are good enough to play well in a competition of this standard?
Ruud, Jimmy mentioned spirit and fitness, and I think we'll see, we hope we'll see a fair bit of that. But what about the skill factor? What's the observation from Holland or the continent about the skill factor in these two teams? Or
normally, you know, a derby, you know, like I played with Holland against Germany, you know, it's a different atmosphere. I had it also when we play with Milan against Inter, you know, the same town. It's just a fighting game. Yeah. And then you don't think too much about, you know, tactics or something. It's just the first 20 minutes is the most important part of the game. If you get through that game well, normally, you know, you play also a good derby. But if you struggle already in the beginning, then it's because the other one, they smell it and they will go for it. And I am just here to observe this game, just to watch this game. Everybody already talked to me and said, you know, this is a game at itself, you know, you have to see it. And I hope I will see a good game, you know.
You'll be the only laid-back man in the stadium, I would imagine.
Yeah, because, you know, it's the first time, you know, to be here in, you know, England, Scotland, and I just want to know what it is. And then after the match,
you'll find out what it is.
Yeah, after the match, I can say something more about it.
You'll find out.
Yeah, okay.
About 2 minutes past 3.
You know,
the pitch is important, Des. The pitch, this is a very tiring pitch, and because of the heat, because of the nature of the game, you know, you've got to pace yourself on this pitch. If they go out the first 20 minutes hell for leather, then there'll be a lot of tired legs at the end, and it might just open up in the last 20 minutes. Yeah.
We'll get confirmation on a caption in due course about it, but we know, don't we, that England have got an unchanged side, same 11 as against Switzerland. Does that shock you, surprise you, or do you go along with it? What do you feel about it?
Well, I thought if Platt had been fit, he would have played Platt.
Yeah.
I think that England needs support for the front man, and Platt is great at getting into the box with his forward runs. I think it's a chance for this English team to show the nation that last Saturday was a one-off. You know, and sometimes in football you don't get a second chance. This team have got a chance. You know, and if they can go out there today and play as though they mean to win this competition, then personally, on paper, I think England have got a stronger team than Scotland.
There was a worry defensively, Jim, wasn't there, last week? They seem to lack a bit of pace, Adams and Pearce. They're still very much in the team.
Yes, they are, but I don't think there is the pace in the Scotland side up front that should frighten them. I mean, that's not one of the things I think that they would worry about. My worry about the team as the same team is the one that I've expressed before, lack of left-footed balance on that side. And if McManaman doesn't get his crosses in well this afternoon, they will look just as unbalanced. If you look at the number of left-footed players in the England squad, in the total squad, there are only 2. You know, and you see other countries with massive number of players who are not only skilled with their right foot, but
comfortable,
strongly skilled with the left foot as athletes. And that balance is not there, and that really is a worry to me.
Now this man can play with both feet. He's happy with the right foot, but he's vital today for England, isn't he? And people have been saying that he's not fit enough. He didn't last the first match. Terry Venables earlier in the programme said he's absolutely 100% fit, and he's faster than most of them over cross country and everything. What do you feel?
Well, are you going to believe Terry on that? I mean,
I believe Terry on everything.
We would rather believe our eyes last week that he died in the second half. But the problem is, how not for that to happen again? I mean, how do we avoid that? And I think that's in Gascoigne's hands, because last week we had quite a good first half, everybody said.
Yeah.
Gascoigne showed off a bit in his own half of the field. Held the ball, things that not many England players are happy doing. He fiddled around with it, let people come for him, laid it back, got it again, looked very fancy. But when his effort was needed in the other half of the field, in the last third of the field, where you really do the damage, I think then, you know, it was lacking. Now, what I'd like to see him do, not to show off in his own half, but to save his energy for moments like this. We're not objecting to that kind of attractive football, quite magnificent. But you can see the area where it is. It's in the last third of the field where it does damage. And that combination of his exceptional ability, which is there without any doubt, used in the right part of the field and playing first-time balls and letting the other players do the running in his own half of the field, I think will enable Gascoigne to last a lot better than he did in the last game. And then I think England will command the game. Otherwise, I am extremely worried.
Do you think the nature of the England team, Ruud, is such that Gascoigne does have to work up and back?
I think so. It depends also on your wide fullbacks also, because like McManaman and on the other side, what is it? Okay. Neville. Because if Ince is not going and Gascoigne is not coming, it has to come from them.
Yes.
If they're not fit enough to go, when one cross is going from the right side, and the left fullback is still there on the left side, that is bad. He has to come in. Of course, you know, he has to run a lot, but you know, it must happen. So if the 2 in the middle doesn't do it, then somebody else has to do it.
Yeah. Sorry, Des, but that's been the problem since they adopted this system. The one man up and one man off. You've got to have support for the front man. Ince isn't going to get there and support him, so Gascoigne's got to get there. You know, Gascoigne's the man that's got to get forward and try and get in the box and support him. Now, if you're doing that run every time, you can only do so many, and you're going to get tired.
Southgate, though, will he play in midfield, do you think, today, or will they play a flat-back 4 like they did the other day? How do you feel?
Play the 3-man defence and push Southgate in just to tighten things up.
Yeah. Now, key man for Scotland has to be mentioned right at the top of the programme. We felt McAllister is the absolute key man for Scotland. You go along with that?
Definitely. I think there's no doubt about it. He is a quality player in the team. You know, in the final third of the pitch, if anything's going to happen, you look to him to provide that little bit of inspiration. He runs forward well but intelligently. You know, he picks up there. What he does more than any Scottish player is that he's patient and he'll only go at the right time. On this occasion, it's a good pass from Boyd. That's virtually a pass back. You can do better than that, but the run was important. Yeah. You know, when Scotland played against Holland, I thought great result, and they played with commitment and a lot of spirit, but they really had nothing going forward. Today, if they're going to win the game, then they've got to take a chance occasionally, you know, and this is the man that just can provide that little bit extra in the final third of the pitch, similar to Gascoigne for England.
If you were coaching England today, Jim, how would you advise them to start the match?
Well, I would have started not with McManaman in that position. I'd have played Stone and Anderton. I have to say, not that I've got anything against McManaman in another
Just where
position
he's
on
placed.
the field.
Yeah.
I don't like unbalanced teams. What would I advise them to do? I'd advise Gascoigne to play one touch in his own half and not show off there and save his energy so he can make the runs Alan was talking about and join in the other half of the field. And then I think England have the capacity to break down the Scottish defence. It's easy enough to advise on this surface. When you've run up and down, a few times in this heat as well, we'll be able to see what they're capable of accomplishing. that will emerge early in the game, and we'd only be guessing, I think, if we tried to estimate that now.
We hear that Scotland have made 2 changes, and your man Spencer is up front today.
Bad mistake, that, really.
No. I think he can do some damage. I think.
You think he can do some damage?
Yeah, normally, with Chelsea, he is a man that can do something on his own. He's very quick on his foot. He can also shoot it very, very quickly. So I hope just that he has one moment, that he can do it for us. I will just be happy for him, of course. I just hope that this game would offer what anyone expects here, and it will be excited. And I think after the first half you can say something more about this game. It's something on its own.
But just be honest with us, impartial point of view. Are we a bit second-rate at this game, or do you think these are 2 good sides?
No.
Because that's what the newspapers constantly write. We can't cope with these continental teams.
It's not that we can't that you can't cope. It's just the game in England is a game that is fast. It's every time, rushing time.
Exciting.
It's exciting. I love it. I love it also. Only in Europe they play it different. In Europe they play more for the result, and that sometimes can be boring also. And that boring game is not for the English. The English want action all the time. But you can't have it all the time, especially not this afternoon.
In this heat.
Oh, it's very hot. You have to keep, if the ball does the work, the players don't spend a lot of energy. If you run with the ball, then you're out.
They're going to pay for it today.
Yeah, that's why the passing game is so important, because the ball does the job for you. And the players just pass it, just run 10 yards left, right, backwards, forward, and everybody's on his place, and you don't spend a lot of energy. That's why I think that first 20 minutes is vital. And I don't think that Venables will say to them, just go for it. I can't think of that, because especially with this heat.
Have the respective teams got the skills to do all that?
I don't think either side is a good passing team. If you watch the Russians or the Portuguese or even the Germans or the Italians, I think they're far, far better technically than either of this side. I think
it's confirmation of the teams, by the way. England unchanged.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do line up, whether they play 3-man defence or if Southgate plays in the back.
Spencer's come in for Scott Booth, hasn't he?
That's right.
And McKinley, it would be for Gallagher, right?
Yeah, I think McKinley's a stronger player than Gallagher, so he's in there just for a little bit of muscle in the middle of the park. Spencer will support Jury. That was again the problem against the Dutch. No support for the front man. As Rudy says, Spencer's got quick feet, a little bit of lack of pace in English defence. He might trouble them.
That midfield's going to be cramped out there today, it seems to me. Hunches before we pass over to John. Hunches, Jim.
Hunches. Is Terry Venables a lucky manager, I keep telling myself, because if England didn't qualify at home, it would be a national tragedy, would it not? And the man who
in a sporting context, yes.
Yes, it would. The man who would take the brunt of all that would be Terry Venables. And I wonder, is he a lucky man? I think he is a lucky man, and I think he's going to sneak through. Alan?
I hope the occasion doesn't get the better of the Scots. This is a big occasion, a great pitch. If they can go and play, I would say a draw. I don't fancy it.
Feel? A feel? No.
I don't know. I just want to see first half to have a real, opinion about it. I think it's difficult. I think in every derby, with this emotion, it's difficult to say before who's going to win. I've seen it with Milan.
That's why I call it a hunch.
Yeah, I've seen it with Milan. We played against the Inter, and it was always difficult, to say who's going to win. You never know.
Jimmy? Well, I was just thinking, what we'd all like to see as football people, I think, is a first-class game of football, whichever side wins it. We'd like to see no trouble at all on the terrace, and there doesn't appear to be anything like that going on. and a wonderful
Played in a
football
nice atmosphere.
In a nice atmosphere and a wonderful football occasion. And I think we'd all be winners on that basis.
Thank you, gentlemen. Whatever happens, this contest will go down in the sporting history books. Let's now join our commentary team of Trevor Brooking and first, John Motson.